Hello, this is professional dog trainer Brett Endies, dogtrainingla.com. So I'm coming from a new client case today, and this was a very large 80-pound bully breed. I'm going to post some videos of it later. He has a bite history, going through the court stuff and all that, and worked through it. It was a very successful session. The dog, you can see in the video, from him lunging and barking and getting stressed, and I was starting to intervene with the handling, to actually being calm, laying at my feet, letting me rub his belly. That was all within like an hour's time. This dog at 8 years old or 7 years old, he's well into adulthood, and in all that time, no one was able to understand the dynamics or handle/communicate with him enough to get him to, see a human in all that time the way that he was able to see me. And it's not bragging, but it is something that is my skill set. I can get into a situation with an aggressive dog and not only get it to listen to me, that's the easy part. Transfer that over by teaching an owner how to integrate the right kind of structure, communication, schedule, interpretation, A to Z, to suit what their dogs need, and make that carry over to them as well. And these are dogs, again, that have a bite. You'll see the dog, it was lunging, and it was on a muzzle because we had to be safe, but he wasn't happy to see me because that was his prior reaction for his life. And when we intervened properly and showed him that humans had a plan for him, we could communicate with the right leash and collar, not to punish him, but to actually get his attention and organize his sensory system so he could feel calmer, focused, content, mindful, aware, safe, felt that he's part of a pack, not in charge of something he can never handle because it's a human condition he's sharing with his owners. I just would love to see very few people. There are some trainers in my profession, that are out there that do this, and probably some we never know about, but it is a very, out of all, even the trainers, because that's a very small, it's like point something percent of the people in the world are professional dog trainers. Now take that down to another point something, or percentage of that. And I'm not bragging, but this is something that is very serious and complicated with the amount of dogs that need it. To have such a small amount of people that are skilled enough. And again, how did I become skilled? Because I made a lot of mistakes. I put myself in that situation. The people who have a lot to say about, I know better than you, or this is wrong, that were never willing to. And that's, why do you act this way? Why do you hold dog training so sacred? Why do you get on people if they're not following through with their dogs? Because I know what it takes, or took, for me to have an understanding of the dynamic and know what to tell or teach or show, that probably means the same thing, to owners or directly to a dog, to help them with something that very little people could. And dogs die as a result of this. There's so many dogs in shelters that could end up in that 1 hour changing their whole state for the better, can be achieved if enough people handling them. And these are professional trainers, owners, and that's the problem, is there's too many people that they think they know but they don't know. And I always implore, I'll always say, I've said it to people dead on who think they know better, meet me at a house like this, or go to a shelter with me, and let's find the most aggressive dog that are wrecks, dogs that no one's going to be able to fix them, lost causes. I want to see what you do, and then we'll see what I do. Or even over the process, say not just the one-shot deal, because we're not trying to be the dog daddy, right? That's why he just floods the dogs and forces submission, but there's no long-term plan or process. It's all for show. It's not really causing detriment. But let's see, over the course of time, what the end result is, how these dogs fare. And even more so, how do these dogs end up back with their owners, like when they're in the home, not with a professional. But even the next step is carrying that over to people that don't have dog experience, to be able to handle and relate to a dog that has gone through this process and started out the way they did. I just say the words, how they make you feel is not my problem. This is just literal fact. It's not embellished. It's not false. It just is. I just came from it. That's why I say these things I do, because I'm living this. And then on the internet, someone would, question, or I have a client who didn't like that I was making their dog do things as a puppy because I didn't want them to end up in a situation like I'm seeing now with these people, that it's so stressful. There were tears shed multiple times in this session today because because of how stressful or how sad it is and all these things. Where if you have just a puppy and I'm saying, hey, don't let it run up to people, be conscious of that because you're struggling with jumping and overexcited greetings. Every time I greet you as your trainer, you let that happen. I can't imagine you're being consistent when I'm not there. And then to get defiant, you know, these kind of things, it's like, know where I'm coming from and have, I mean, if nothing else, a little respect that someone who's giving you a message has put in so much time and so much sacrifice to help dogs that no one else has other than other people in my position at this point. Maybe they're really trying to help you and they care that much. And they can't care more than you do about the outcome or about your ideology or virtuous needs being met other than what the dog actually needs again. Thank you. Thank you for letting me share all that. Subscribe if you don't. Like, share. Go on my website, dogtrainingla.com, for online and in-person training in the Southern California area. I would love to help you if you have a puppy, dog, problem behavior solutions needed. I'm your guy. Thank you.